Poland is a country with many faces. It can delight you with its natural beauty, amaze you with its modernity, or interest you with its rich history. The busy streets of the big cities are full of life, and majestic nature can soothe your troubled nerves. In the last few decades, Poland has undergone an unprecedented metamorphosis and has become a possibility for many countries. Discover the stories of people who left their homeland and chose Poland as their new home. What did they expect? What did they discover? What made them so determined to stay here? Our heroes will answer these questions. Immigrants from all over the world who built their new lives in Poland. Today, we're revisiting Warsaw. Together with Richard, a Brit and a keen amateur historian, we will explore the capital's less obvious and still fascinating face. Let's have a look at what amazing and surprising treasures it's got to offer.
My name is Richard Blanks. I'm originally from Oxford, UK. I'm 41 years old, and I work as a project manager here in Poland. And I've lived here for almost 7 years, more like 6 3/4. So my daily routine probably sounds a little bit dull because I work from home. So I work as a project manager in an IT company. And so I spend a lot of the time in front of the computer on calls and helping to coordinate things. And in the evenings, when I'm not going out, I will be working on my YouTube channels. I love this time of year. I don't know if you've heard of Złoty Polska Jesień or the Golden Autumn, but it is a truly beautiful time in Poland. I often come to this cemetery as a very relaxing and calming experience. It's something that's very grounding. Around this time of year, it can also be quite nice to find chestnuts, as people will generally collect these. They'll make little sculptures, or there don't seem to be many chestnuts. I guess maybe people have already found them. However, people also find acorns. One thing you should really notice is how well maintained the cemetery is. Actually, it didn't always used to be that way. They not too long ago started collecting money for this to maintain the cemetery. And now it's a bit of a sanctuary for squirrels as well. And the red squirrels of Poland, beautiful creatures. Maybe not many Polish people realize this, but the family of Frédéric Chopin are actually buried in Powązki Cemetery. Of course, Chopin is one of the greatest things to come out of Poland. So actually, it's a tradition in Poland to put candles on the graves of the deceased, because around All Saints' Day, it is said that the spirits of the dead return to earth. Interesting fact, this is actually originally a pagan ritual that was merged into Christianity at a later date. Poland was like a blank point on the map. It was kind of a blank slate in my mind, and so I didn't come here with any preconceptions. I just waited to see what I would find. I'd been to Lithuania and Latvia, and I thought, okay, they're neighboring countries, so maybe it's similar. And I was quite wrong. So, now it's time to get some breakfast. It's very, very difficult in Poland to get a good English breakfast. There is one place I know in Warsaw that serves a pretty good one. But today, we're gonna try a Polish breakfast, so I'll give you a little bit of a comparison between the two. Dzień dobry.
Dzień dobry.
So I live quite close. I thought I'd come here for a nice Polish breakfast. Like, do you like recommend anything?
Czy może pan po polsku?
One of the things I've found in Poland is when you use Polish, it makes people a lot more open and they tend to be a lot friendlier towards you. It really makes your life easier. Oh, wow. Oh, this looks lovely. Oh, wonderful. Thank you very much. Dziękuję bardzo. So, Polish breakfast is quite different from what you get in the UK. You have some similarities. Ah, dziękuję bardzo. So, you have the sausages. I'm sorry, but I still prefer English sausages. I know most Polish people hate English sausages, but there's just something about the interior. I like how they use like bacon and like chives with the scrambled eggs. It definitely adds something. It looks a lot nicer than what we have in the UK. And I like that you have like a lot of fresh salad. Like you kind of pretend that it's actually quite healthy. And Polish bread, oh God, gorgeous. I have to admit, lovely, lovely stuff. Okay, so let's tuck in. Not quite English, but still lovely. The only time I really wondered about staying here was actually during COVID. When I went through those periods of isolation, but also I was just going out and exploring on my own. So I was walking around Warsaw a lot. At that time, I wasn't using any public transport because I didn't really know how it worked. So I was just walking to the center, walking to any museums I could find, and just understanding the layout of the city. So when it comes to like the places in Warsaw that I, really enjoy going, it's quite numerous. I love the parks. I think Warsaw has some of the best parks I've ever seen. I particularly like Brzęki, Pole Mokotowskie, Saski. It's really awesome. And I just love to explore. I try to see every museum I possibly can. Places like the Poland Museum are particularly impressive.
And like areas like Praga have such a character of their own. It's really amazing to explore.
So, right now I'm on Zamkowska-Brzeska Street. This area of Praga, about 20 years ago, was considered very unsafe. In fact, this area was known as the Bermuda Triangle because people would just disappear. However, now it has changed a lot. You will find it's a lot safer than it was. Nowhere's ever perfect. And what you get is a nice fusion of the old Praga with the new. And there are some nice touches, like, for example, these cobbled streets, which are like a remnant of the old city. So it's pretty cool. So, all right, let's carry on.
But when it comes to Praga, I have been discovering all kinds of things recently. Such as this Rosicki market, these street bands, these Matki Boski. Like, there are all these different elements of Praga that I honestly had no idea. When I first got here, I mainly just knew murals everywhere, which are incredibly beautiful. And what I really, really want to do is explore more of this part of Warsaw and make a video, of course, but one that actually talks about the culture. Because, you know, I'm very, very interested to know, like, the origins of Praga, how it's developed over time, and what the future is looking like.
So, this is actually a pretty famous bar in Praga, and it's called Busy Flaki Gorące, and the reason for that is in the old Rosicki market, the lady serving the homemade flaki there, which is basically tripe soup, would shout like, "Busy Gorące, busy, Flaki Gorące, flaki," and it's very tasty. So I use this map to keep track of various places I've been in Poland. I particularly enjoy being on the kind of the coast here. You have some beautiful beaches in Pomerania. In Warmia, Masuria, you have the Lake District. I have been more in Warmia, but I really, really want to see more of Missouri here. This is one of my big plans for next year. In Podlasia, you just have some beautiful forests. You've got Biała Wieża here, which is like a national treasure. It's like the oldest forest in Europe. Poznan is the historical center of Poland, you could say. The problem is it's not so well connected by the trains, so I really want to see more and more of this region as I go. Lower Silesia, so the area around Wrocław, has to be one of my favorite parts of Poland. It just seems to be full of all these natural and historical wonders. You know, particularly in the south along the mountain ranges, absolutely incredible things to see. Like I was in the Skull Chapel. I really have a big idea to explore more of this region. So, for example, Zamość is very high on my list. And I have a friend in Przemyśl who is desperately waiting for me to come and visit. I feel at home in Poland. Every year that just gets deeper and deeper. I'd say Poland is a very complicated country. You know, there's a very, very difficult history that varies very much
by region, even by city. So as I've explored the country, as I've got to know some of the customs, as I've got to know the people, every little bit of the puzzle is helping me to understand it more and to feel more at home. And I'd add that in the UK, I feel that I couldn't be myself, and there were certain things I wanted to talk about that I couldn't talk about because people are very sensitive. And in Poland, I was able to pretty much talk about anything, and I faced, rather than prejudice or like shock, I had a very interesting and intellectual discussion, and that's something that really made a big difference for me. For me, in moving here, is adopting the customs of this country, celebrating the traditions of this country, because I think these are things that are very important, and especially given the history of Poland, where these things, you know, many different countries have tried to eradicate these things, it's important to hold on to them.
So this is the newly opened Museum of the Polish Army, which is being relocated from the site in the center. As you can see, this is the World War II part of the exhibit, very, very important part of Polish history. Hi, Richard.
Hello, my name is Tomasz.
Wonderful. Do you have a few moments to just help me answer a few questions about the museum?
Sure. How can I help you?
Oh, lovely. Sorry, I'm very interested to know more about Polish history. And
Here, there is an uniform of the Polish Ace from the 303 Air Force.
Urbanowicz.
Yes,
Okay.
Witold Urbanowicz.
I think I've heard the name. Like, it's interesting for me because actually my grandmother, so she was in the Women's Auxiliary Air Force during World War II, and she was based at RAF Hemswell, and she was coordinating the flight plans.
Yes.
So she was helping to determine, you know, the location of the planes and helping the Polish pilots, you know, with the coordinates for bombing runs and things. And later on, when she was based in Cairo, she was working with the Enigma project. So she was taking like the instructions, the decoded instructions from Enigma, and disseminating that to the troops there as well.
And there are family rumors that she may have been a spy, but the problem is she was never allowed to talk about what she did in the war. So a lot of what we have are from her own diaries, or photos that she had, or things that have been discussed within the family. I'm still trying to petition my mum to do a freedom of information request so we can actually know more about what she really did then. She passed away when I was 6 years old. And so hearing this story about her involvement in the war, and like all my grandparents were involved in the war in some way, shape or form, but she was the only one, I think, that was directly involved with Poland. So when I think about any kind of connection I have with Poland, before I moved here, I honestly didn't know I had any. After, you know, this trip to the museum and speaking to the chaplain there about this uniform of the Polish pilot, it kind of gave me that additional route. When it comes to making friends here, I started going to Facebook and looking for activities I could join. So that's how I discovered Warsaw Global, because they were throwing an event where they were taking people to Park Arcadia Romantyczne. And I was like, oh, this looks like an interesting place, I'll go along. And as I got more and more involved in that group, suddenly I'm surrounded by people and I have to almost fight for my free time now.
So you're with me at one of my other duties. I help to host an international group called Warsaw Global, and tonight is games night. There you go. How's it going?
Hey, man.
Oh, I don't know who these are. Some Greek and some Irish guy, maybe? I'm not sure. Anyway. Okay. All right, so I better get started. Wish me luck.
Your turn.
You're there. No. And 8.
Lucky number.
Nice. So, in Warsaw Global, we're a very international group. So, you have Javier from Colombia. He's a pretty nifty photographer, actually. He's been here for 6 years now. We have Anya from Ukraine. She has been here 11 years and deals in toothpaste. We have Marika from Finland. She's been here for 6 years now. This is Ahmed from Algeria. He's been here for 15 years now.
Wow, you made me Polish. It's 6 years now.
Oh, oops, my bad. This is Felicia from Indonesia. She's been here 6 years. And this is Paulina. You'll get to know her very soon.
Hi, so my name is Paulina. I'm from Warsaw originally, and in fact, I started the group Warsaw Global like 2.5 years ago. The idea was born in May, but we started in June, as we wanted to start from the new month. First of all, I was alone with my friends, but fastly we gathered like other people to join more and more and more. And then Richard joined me, fortunately, in November.
I mean, when it comes to identity, you know, I'll always be British. And I'm one of these people that's proud to be British. But what I would like eventually is to have a kind of dual nationality. You know, I want to kind of have my English roots, but I want to be part of Poland as well. It has changed in that I've become a lot more confident in myself, a lot more independent. I have more of an aim for the future and more determination than I had in the UK. But I'll never forget who I am. But when it comes to where I actually feel I should be and where I belong, I would say I feel Poland is the answer. I feel I can do more here, that my life can make more of a difference here. And I'm so much happier here.